What's up, sitters? This is Tyler Rolfe along with Joey's in-laws and Chris Martinez.
What's up? What's happening?
And we are front porch sitting. That's a true story, actually.
Yeah, Joey has the best in-laws. I'm not going to say
world.
ever, right? You got good ones. I have good ones, so we won't go there. But they're really awesome. Come check on this house and everything
great.
else. Little feedback, right?
A little feedback.
But yeah, taking care of his dogs. Joey's in a little bit probably in the dog house because we could have done that.
100% could have. He's in the chat, by the way. He said, sitters, what's good? On cue.
Yeah, Joey, you're in trouble, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go back out and grab something out of my truck, and your mother-in-law was like, "Hey, are you allowed to be here, sir?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're doing the podcast." And she's like, "Well, what am I doing here?" And I was like, "Uh-oh, Joey."
That's a great question.
I was like, "We could have did it. I'm sorry."
Yeah,
So-
that's a bummer. Yeah, Joey's not here. And listen, can we pick on Joey for a minute?
Absolutely.
He's not here to defend himself.
No, whenever I wasn't here, he didn't hold any punches. So yeah, let's go.
Okay, great. All right, so this week, what happens this weekend?
March Madness.
March Madness happens this weekend. You know who loves March Madness?
Joey probably loves it as much as anyone that I know besides you.
I thought Joey loved it.
Me too.
I thought, but here we are. The day before, the tournament starts today, really. It's the playing game.
Yeah.
Playing game starts today. It's actually big for the Gators.
Yep.
But yeah, no Joey here. Joey's Joey's at a baseball tournament at a beach somewhere.
Yeah,
right? What beach is that?
they're in Jacksonville, I believe.
He 100% tried to get us to go, but
Yeah, we have lives and stuff. We can't
no,
just
we
go.
have people here. You know who else is here?
Who else?
John Woodley.
John Woodley.
JW Weaponry,
Yes,
the
sir.
premier gun store in the South. They are always loaded, and they're always here,
Always.
unlike some people.
Yeah.
It's crazy about that. Yeah, go by, see John. Tell him we sent you. Tell him the Front Porch Sitters sent you. And, yeah, go get a gun. Go get some ammo.
Yep.
Maybe take a break from watching some football or basketball. Go in the morning, maybe.
Yeah.
A little gun range action.
Yes, sir.
Could be fun. So, yeah, go by, see John. Give him a call if you need to give him a call. The number is 386-243-8587. That is 386-243-8587. Tell him the Front Porch sent you and get your 10%? 5%?
Discount.
Get your discount
Get your discount.
at JW Weaponry.
Yeah, no doubt. Go see John. Really, really good people. John is so it's spring break right now.
Yeah.
We have optional weightlifting. He's been coming up, bringing his son and his youngest son, Declan. He's been like doing really, really well. It's kind of cool. I remember Declan when he was like 2 years old, 3 years
Isn't
old.
that crazy? Don't you
Like,
feel old when that
Yeah,
happens?
so I watched that kid like grow up from like zero.
Literally, yeah.
Like baby. And then now he's like a sixth grader walking around the gym, working out, and I'm like, what? It makes me feel really old.
I had a situation like that happen. I grew up with our youth pastor, and I saw this kid from the time he was like 2 years old. Literally, watched him grow up. And I was going to the high school to do some First Federal Bank stuff, and at the Tiger Bank.
Yeah.
And I saw him walking the halls, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's bad enough with Joey's kid, Benton.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
Declan when he was like so small. I couldn't hold his head up small.
Yeah.
So, shout out to the chat. Some like, not new faces, but like we got Matt Mahoney in the chat. Super, super friend of the show. Kyle Gamble giving you a compliment. Chandler, you do have a nice haircut. Like, you look nice today.
Yeah.
You always look nice, but you're off camera. They don't get to see that.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate
welcome.
that, Chris. Yeah, I'm actually dressed nice, too, because I came straight from church.
See?
Wearing jeans, unfortunately.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. Clayton, of course he said that. So the Florida Gators, just quick preview because Clayton said it.
Yep.
Florida Gators are playing the play-in team for the March Madness. It's either Colorado or Boise State.
Yep.
Problem for Clayton is Boise State's going to win the night against Colorado, so we're not even going to get to play Colorado.
I honestly like I think Boise plus 3.5. I kind of like that. No,
Yeah, I love
sorry.
that.
Sorry.
The only reason I picked Boise State is me and Clayton had like an all-time Twitter altercation this morning.
Yes.
This afternoon.
Yep.
And yeah, it was a good time. We ended as friends. We were always friends.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
Clayton.
That's the front porch, man.
Just because he has poor taste in wide receivers doesn't mean I can't be friends with the guy.
Dude, you need to be on camera more and we get Joey off. Everyone's
Look at
giving.
Marty with the shout out. I appreciate you.
Let's see here. So we have a full
Yeah.
show. We always have a full show, but like
Yes.
we actually do because our wheelhouse is back. Spring football is in
football's back.
session in Tallahassee and in Gainesville. The Players Championship just concluded. Super exciting Sunday.
What a finish.
Could you believe that?
No.
Imagine having money on Wyndham Clark.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember I mentioned him last week?
You did.
I did the double pump with him.
Me too, because I needed that one to go so we could have a playoff hole. And then obviously the brackets.
Yeah.
And then anything else you guys want to talk about? There's a new rule change in the NFL. We're gonna hit that.
Yep.
Some crazy going on at Alabama in the portal. Got a lot going on. Kelsey's in the chat. Wow, big show, man. Big show. Kelsey, don't stand up for him. I mean, they would drug me the other day.
Well, let's get started. Let's go back to the wheelhouse. Let's go to FSU spring football. I'm going to be honest with you, sitters. Don't ask me about Florida football right now.
I got it. I got it covered. I really feel good. Yeah, I feel good about it. I got it all. Joey
gave us plenty of notice about this.
Yes.
Definitely wasn't like 2 days ago.
Correct. Or maybe even before that. Did you hear that noise just now?
Not going to think about it.
Oh, my God. I left my gun in the truck. All right. Anyways.
Where'd you get that gun?
JW weaponry, for real. And the ammunition that's in it. Okay, anyhow. So, Florida State spring football. I think there's like one comment that Adam Fuller made that the defense coordinator that really, really illustrated Florida State season like outlook, and it made sense. I think you'll appreciate it. So he talked about like a football team being a pyramid, and you obviously have to have the foundation, you have to have the base, and that's like where you build upon, obviously, and then the middle section. So like the base was like the floor. Like we know worst case scenario are 2 and 3 deep on the depth chart. We know who they are. We know what they are. We feel comfortable. We don't want to necessarily get to that.
As you can be with the base.
Correct, but we feel good about it. He said, and then the middle is like the guys that are going to be contributors, like on the field, and they're gonna be like very solid college football players, and be able to win a lot of games with those guys. He said the part that's unknown right now is the peak. Where like the elite playmakers, game changers, guys that play on Sunday, they're going to emerge. They just don't necessarily know who they are. Whereas last year it was a little different. They were super top heavy. I think they had the most guys.
Seniors.
Yeah, they had the most guys in the top 100 projected in the draft.
Yeah, they're going to have how many guys go in the draft? 4 or 5?
I think potentially maybe more probably.
Yeah.
I think closer to like 7 or 8 if it plays right. So they had the star power last year. And then I think there's a little bit left to be desired in that middle to lower range. So it's a little different. I think they feel more comfortable about the meat of the team.
Yeah.
I think they're excited to see like who emerges. I think they feel good that there's going to be guys that will emerge, but they're unknown right now.
Well, that's the beauty of spring. You get in there, you see what you have.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of frame the season around those guys that make their way. Florida State, pretty well known for pulling in a lot of transfers.
Yes.
Not sure what you're going to get out of those guys right away.
Yep.
Coming to a different system, incorporating that into their game plan. So
I think Mike Norvell, I was telling you off air before we started, I think he's like as excited and confident as he's been in a while.
I love and hate that.
Yeah, me too. Like I think it's good because he's confident, but it's also like, okay, he doesn't normally. He's not like chest out, but it's like it's just confidence. Like I think they asked him about the portal, and he was like, everyone talks about us as the poster child of the portal, but teams every year take more than us. We just get it right more. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's like okay, yeah, you're right. I think they like what they have so far. I think they took 4 or 5 kids from Alabama. Anybody that's coming out of Alabama's program under Nick Saban, I'm good with, especially if there's no red flags and. It doesn't appear to be the case. So I think they feel good about it again. We talked to some people that are very close to the program, and I asked them last week, like what's the ceiling for Florida State? One of the guys said 10. 10 is the absolute ceiling. He's a bit more pessimistic than the others. And then the others were 13-0. Like that's still the ceiling at Florida State. So I kind of agree with them. I don't necessarily know that. I think if everything goes right, everyone stays healthy, then potentially 13-0 is an option. The schedule is more challenging this year than last year. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's funny. It's going back to like the transfers. We have a podcast, so we get to talk about football a lot.
Yep.
And one of the things that's really easy to do is to say, well, we'll see if they can keep that up for the next 2-3 years.
Right.
Because we did that on this show.
Yep.
When Florida State got all of those transfers in, when that was a huge thing.
Yep.
We said on the show, we'll see if they can keep it up. they're gonna have to keep it up if that's their game plan.
Yep.
And it seems like they've been able to do that. So, I know it's easy to say that up front, but looking back, they've been able to do that. They've been able to sustain that.
You know what I think is crazy, Tyler? I think, and I don't know if I maybe have already said this on air, and so if I have, I apologize, and if I haven't, then it's obviously going to work out for us. But I think what's unique about what Florida State's done is like, so you think about the two big names. Jordan Travis was the transfer. People forget that.
I forget that.
Yeah, he was from Louisville. He was a transfer. Like, that's a huge name. But then, like, the more, like, household names, Jermaine Johnson and Jared Verse. Jermaine Johnson lives in Tallahassee when he's not in New York. Yeah. He doesn't live in Athens or wherever he went to high school. He lives in Tallahassee, and he trains still in Tallahassee. And Jared Verse has, like, been the greatest ambassador for Florida State as far as, like, high praise constantly, all the time. And just recently, he's, like, he's biased, but they make you bigger, stronger, faster than anywhere else. You know, he's like a stand for Florida State. I think that's unique in the world where like transfers are just truly like mercenaries. They just show up, try to get a bag.
You took the word out of my mouth. I was thinking the word mercenary,
right?
Because that's kind of
in theory that's what you think.
Yeah.
But then like when you have them, it does not feel that way in Tallahassee, at least so far.
Yeah.
So
getting the guys in is only like half the puzzle.
I agree.
Right. The second half is making sure those guys fit, because football, like any other sport, maybe more than any other sport, is a locker room sport.
Yes, absolutely.
If you lose the locker room,
it doesn't matter.
Bye.
Yeah.
So
and then to piggyback off that, I think the reason why, and this is straight out of Mike Norvell's mouth when he talked to us in Orlando. When they do, I think the reason they have such success in that is he's like, look, if you're coming here, and then this is the part I don't know if I said on air, but if you're coming here for 500 snaps, this isn't the place for you. Like if you're coming here for 400 snaps, play hard for a university, get coached hard, get trained hard, expectations through the roof, then this is going to be a good fit. But if it's not, like we can shake hands and go about your business. But like if NIL is the number one driving factor, it won't work out. It just won't work out. And I believe him because so far it's kind of fit. It's worked.
Yeah.
You know, that's refreshing. It gave me hope because we were thinking like football's dying and I think the game that we knew as college is dying.
Yeah.
It's dead.
Yeah.
It's totally dead. Like Joey says it all the time. It's absolutely dead. It's absolutely dead. However, it's refreshing to hear like a coach, especially like the team that I like, say like. I think I did already say that part, but like recruiting and stuff is like.
Well, it's like it makes it easier to mentally onboard those guys into your head, right? The thing that I love about college sports is the same thing that I love about baseball.
Yeah.
Right? In Major League Baseball, you have all these minor leagues that you have to go through.
Yep.
So watching those guys start, at 20 years old and then work their way up into the major leagues.
Yep.
Those are the people that you invest in.
Yep.
Right? And so in the same way in college sports, you see those guys come in as freshmen, sophomores, redshirts, whatever it may be.
Yep.
You're growing to like them the longer they're in the system.
Yep.
Right? So for a guy that comes in as a junior, he's already got like an uphill battle with the fans, so to speak.
Yes.
Right? Like, are you a Florida State guy for real?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Like when DJ transfers in,
yeah.
You're like, is he going to be a Florida State guy? Is he a Seminole now?
I think the cool thing about him too, and we'll talk about like specific segments and kind of like hyper focus and then switch to Florida because I got some decent insight at Florida. Ooh, and I know Joey does too. Heat. A little bit. Good stuff though. Good stuff. So Gator fans, hang in there. It's good stuff. I think what's interesting is like DJ wanted to be a Seminole. Like he didn't. I say that after he was in the portal and he went to Clemson and went to Oregon State. Yeah. When it was his final shot, I was like, I got to get it right now. Mm-hmm. He waited for Florida State so that they could wait on Cam Ward, who ended up ultimately going to Miami. But remember, he said, "I'm going pro," and they're like, "Dude, this song and dance stuff, like we're out on that, man. Like, wish you best."
Not a culture fit.
Yeah,
wasn't gonna work.
Whereas DJ like waited and let that process play out, and he wanted to be in Tallahassee all along on his final stop, and so ultimately it worked out. And so far through 2 days, I was told from somebody who's been at practice that he might be the guy.
Hey.
So we'll see. We will see. A lot left out there.
One random question that I had about this: do you think him being at Clemson and then seeing what it was like at Florida State playing had anything to do with that?
I do. I really do. I think it matters. Not like want to stick it to them, but he kind of got a raw end of the deal in Clemson. I think the coaches failed him a little bit.
Clemson, when he got there, remember, he was coming after Trevor Lawrence, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
So
yes.
the highs were like, they had peaked.
Yes.
And we hadn't seen Clemson like turn over talent like Alabama had. And so they kind of hit that downward stride.
Yep.
And
And then he got replaced, and
buddy.
he kind of regressed and stayed put. He kind of hit a wall, if you will, like a plateau. But I remember going to tour the field and like seeing him, and he's different than everyone else. So
he's a big guy.
yeah, I think so. All that is really good. One area that I am like really really concerned with in Tallahassee is linebacker. I think
That's your
DJ.
position.
Yeah, that's what I like to look at. I think DJ Lundy's gonna be really okay. Because like we know who he is, he's just
Super perfectly mid.
super perfectly mid. Like he's not in that bottom part of the pyramid, but he's in that middle part. Like just a solid contributor,
Yeah.
program guy, been there forever. Made a bad decision about leaving to go to Colorado, but fixed it, came back. Like I've already told that story. But
He's going to eat minutes.
I think so. Yeah, he'll play plenty of snaps. 400 or 500 snap guy, 3 down backer. They only need one more. I think that's where the issue lies. Is there's just one more. Someone has to emerge. I guess that's what spring is for. Someone has to emerge. Sean Murphy from Alabama transfer is the one that like seems to be the next one, but he hasn't looked great in one day. It's one day. So someone has to emerge and like really take ownership of that position. And I don't think they're going to emerge into like a top tier starter. Starter, yes, but like NFL guy, I don't think we're going to get that out of that group. Just need him to be like a serviceable,
super perfectly mid guy.
Yeah.
Need 2 of those.
Yeah, and that's sad that at Florida State, that's where we're at. Like we have to have, like we're hoping that you're our average linebacker. I think it should help them with the D line being very good, so that should keep them free. And I think the back end will be very, very good. That linebacker has plagued Florida State for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say that because they had a pretty good 2-year run. But before that and now, it's not being recruited very well. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't hit the portal after the spring window for another linebacker. Just, you heard it here first.
Yeah. It's interesting that teams can do that too. It's so interesting. You're almost constructing a roster at this point.
That's why you have GMs. Like
Yeah.
they're literally, Florida State literally has one. He manages the roster.
That's crazy.
Yeah, coming and going. He knows both. So I think they have to figure out linebacker. And obviously, they must stay healthy. It'll be the same thing going on when we talk about Florida now. Before we do that, we want to definitely discuss the best sporting goods store in the world.
The best sporting goods store in the world?
In my opinion.
What could that be? No other place than Bryan Sports.
Yes, sir.
I thought about trying to make that rhyme, but I've already got so much going on in my head right now. I'm like,
No, we don't have to do it. We can just be real business-like, professional, and just get right to it.
Bryan Sports, best sporting goods store in Lake City, Florida, North Florida. And the thing about Bryan is he's so accommodating, right? So you have a store that does everything for the local teams, right, like that.
Yep.
But then when these tournaments come in, I know Bryan is providing all those teams with stuff, mid-game stuff that they've got to replace and things like that. He's doing all of that as like a small, local, family-owned store.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing better.
That's a
than
really good
supporting
point.
people like that.
That's a really good point because those are huge tournaments.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff that has to be
lot
taken
of
care
pressure.
of. Yeah, and I think the people that keep coming back, they know which side of the road to shop on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, that's a great line right there.
Just saying.
Are you a marketing guy?
Top of the head.
Top of the head?
Yep. If someone wanted to get in touch with Bryan at Bryan Sports, it's family owned and operated.
Yep.
I literally think the entire family has worked there at some point and does work there currently.
Yeah.
What number would they call?
You can give Bryan a call at 386-755-0570. 386-755-0570. Call Bryan. Go in there. Check out the some Columbia High School Tiger stuff.
Yep.
You can get all that stuff there. Florida
sir.
stuff, Florida State stuff, all the local teams, and then just everything else that you need to play sports.
Yeah, and if it's not there, he'll order it.
Yeah, and get it there quick.
Yep.
All right. Do you have more on spring football, or are we good?
I'm good on Florida State spring football.
Hit me with the Florida
I
stuff.
would like to talk a little bit about the Gators.
Bryan's team.
Yes, exactly. Brian's team. Perfect time. Jake is in the chat. Just got here. Have y'all touched the 2025 SEC schedule? He said it's lazy. Absolutely hates it. I have we've talked. We're going to talk about Florida's. We can do that in a minute after we talk about spring.
Sure.
But I haven't looked at the entire SEC. Jake, no sir, I haven't. But we will answer any questions if you have them. So if you guys have any chats or any questions in there, please throw them in there. Also, before we get to Florida, I'm going to make you do this. Please make sure you like this video. It's easy to do right there at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on the bell. One of my buddies told me I had no idea he watches. He watches. Shout out Jock Reddick. I don't know if he's going to catch it right now because I told him if you're in the chat to comment, and he hasn't yet. But Jock, he coaches with us. He watches, and I had no idea.
That's such a cool feeling when someone comes up.
It really is. It really is.
We love that. We love that.
So Florida. Let me get my notes out.
The Gators.
The Gators.
Schedule drop today. We'll get to that.
Yeah, the schedule dropped today. Let's see. So, by all accounts, so obviously, Trevor Etienne? Travis.
Yes.
Which one is it?
It's Travis.
Etienne. Etienne left, went to
No, it's
Georgia.
Trevor.
You tell me. You look it up and tell me. I'm not positive.
I think it's Travis. No, it's Trevor.
Trevor. All right. Trevor Etienne goes to Georgia. That's a little bit of a void to fill. Joey's always felt very, very good about the running back room in Gainesville. However, I will say it's not a new face, but Montrell Johnson has been an absolute stud.
Number one.
Yeah, through camp.
one.
Number one. He's been an absolute dude. Everything that you want him to be, as far as like leadership capabilities, and obviously as a player, that's always kind of been there. But I think he's really, really embraced being the leader of that room.
Yeah.
And then like it's carrying over to the rest of the team.
Helps that he's a senior guy, older guy.
Yep.
Been with Billy Napier for a while, so knows the system really well. Joey said, Trevor, come on. Come on, bro. Get over here and come on. How about that?
George,
Sorry, Joey.
Kelsey said, woohoo. Yeah, he's a dog. Anyhow.
But anyways, so I think it's helpful, when you get the opportunity, it's almost like some guys just need like a little room
Yeah.
to really be able to shine. I know that's like kind of cliche, but it seems like that's the case here. He was the guy coming in. Everyone was really excited about Montrell.
Yep.
Was really good. And then you saw ETN, and you're like, oh, he's really good too. He's special too.
Yeah.
So now kind of all eyes back on him.
100% agree. I think you nailed it. Like with he came in with Billy, like you said, from Louisiana, and I remember. I think I said it maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I guess it would be now. 2 years ago. It was the first spring he would have been there.
Yeah.
I was like, who in the freak is number 2? That guy is a horse, like huge. And it showed. Like he had as many yards on average per carry as Etienne did.
I was a huge ETN guy right off the rip.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Only
were.
time I've ever been right against Joey about a football player was
Yes.
I told him I liked ETN better than Montrell Johnson.
Yeah, you were.
I got the receipts, Joseph.
Before I get too far, Cooey said talking trash towards a guy while at his house is crazy work. I mean, maybe a little bit, but there's nothing he can do.
Nothing he can do.
We know where the key is. I can let his dogs out. We can go eat his food.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
we're
made
fam-
friends
we're
with
family.
His, we
Cooey,
made friends
we're
with his
family.
in-laws. I mean,
We're family, man. We can trash talk the guy.
it's only because I love Joey.
Exactly. It's out of love.
He knows.
But Montrell Johnson has been an absolute horse. He's done everything they wanted him to be. Another thing that I thought was very interesting, if I'm a Gator fan, I'm very excited about, is Graham Mertz. He's been obviously doing his thing.
DJ
but-
Lagway's coming in.
Correct. But in addition to just doing like his job and making sure his house is neat, he is helping groom DJ Lagway like through the process. Like try and accelerate that learning curve. Because there is a learning curve. I don't care how physically gifted you are. There's a learning curve on college, on high school to college. And that kid's a high school senior. Like he literally could be going to prom in a month.
Yeah.
I think we fail to realize like
we do.
think
You
about
look
when
at
you
a kid and see how big and mature he already looks.
100%.
And he's handled this really well. We've been talking about him for 2+ years
Yeah,
now.
he's been extremely mature in the recruiting process.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't flip flopped all over the place. He was with Florida, stuck with Florida when it got really, really bad, and it's easy to fold. He didn't fold.
No, he's still having to watch his face so he doesn't get acne, guys.
yeah, no
You know
doubt.
what I mean?
The guy literally is a high schooler,
Yeah.
and he's participating in spring ball at quarterback at the University of Florida. So I think there is a learning curve there, a pretty steep one. But I think, I know that Graham Mertz is doing everything that he can to accelerate that learning curve, which is not always common because by doing so, you are also increasing the chance that you don't play as much, because if he catches you, and he physically absolutely can and probably will, it might happen sooner than you're ready for. And so sometimes,
especially with Billy Napier in the hot seat,
yeah, it's time to go ahead and probably go to it. You know, you see it where quarterbacks won't. Like Aaron Rodgers refused to help his backup.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that we talked about the transfer portal with Florida State and bringing those guys in. We don't have firsthand knowledge with Billy Napier like you do.
Yep.
With Coach Norvell. But it would seem, I would hope, with the lack of people that we've got coming in from the transfer portal, that those similar type of conversations are going on.
Yep.
And so when you get a guy like Graham Mertz, you know he's going to fit.
Yep.
And so this probably isn't a surprise to Billy Napier.
I agree.
I think when you bring in someone like Ertz, you know, upperclassman, he's probably, I think, been grooming him for this to make sure he's ready to prepare DJ Lagway for probably the past year.
I think it's neat too to think that Graham Mertz was a 5-star as well out of high school.
Yeah.
Like
So
he wasn't. He's not a slouch. Like he knew what he was getting into as well. And he knows, like, that's their job at these major universities, is to recruit over you.
Yeah.
It's their job. It's your job to prevent, by development, getting recruited over, and to continue to accelerate and to ascend. And that way, the incoming people on that learning curve, it takes them a moment to catch you.
Yeah.
And then I'm out. I'm in the league.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a really good sign. That also speaks to culture. Like, it may feel really bad, and then the season may not go well, but at least in the walls right now, it appears to be going like as good as possible in the current climate.
Yeah, it's wild to think that, you know, if Graham Mertz goes out and gives you 7 wins this year, he probably is the most well-liked Florida quarterback, and prepares DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
He's probably the most well-liked Florida quarterback in the last 10, 12 years.
I would say
Maybe not.
you could answer that better, but yeah.
I think it's probably fair. I think AR may be the only other one, but
I know he's a
he
lot.
only got like one full year of AR. So
I agree.
It wasn't.
I think people are really endeared to Graham Mertz because of like what he did and the doubt that he had coming in. Because people were really,
We all doubted.
I doubted him big
proven wrong.
time. I was like,
And he
Wisconsin,
plays really hard.
Yeah.
Like the passion he shows on the sidelines.
broke his collarbone trying to go get a first down, like extra yards.
I forgot about that.
No, yeah, like lay it on the freaking line.
Yes. Then played the next snap.
Yeah,
What a guy.
I think that's I think that's super a good sign. Good sign for me to be pessimistic, because I don't think the season is going to go well. Whatever the win total is, I probably will go under. But I don't think that Billy deserves to be fired. You know what I'm saying?
So,
like, I just think,
okay. Let me say this. Let me read Jake's comment, and then we'll spin this into the next little point I want to make. Jake says the schedule isn't doing Billy any favors these next 2 years. Honestly, don't know if it's even a fair shake. If the locker room and the culture around Florida is on the rise, I think Billy's going to be okay, no matter what happens with the with the record.
I think so too, especially if he sprinkles in enough DJ Lagway to give hope and to keep the momentum on the trail in the portal. Like, hey, look, we understand it didn't go how we wanted it to go. It is what it is. Like, we understand that, but like, look at the trajectory of, like, you have to take the wins and loss record like out of it and look at where we're headed.
Because if you think about it, if you get rid of Billy Napier, all that culture that you're building,
you reset everything.
You reset everything.
Yeah,
there's no point. There's just no point.
Unless
to give him the time.
I do.
In my opinion,
I totally agree. Unless he does something really, really stupid.
Yes.
Over and over, more than once. If he just does the same thing he did this year, and they win 5-6 games,
perfectly mid.
And Lagway looks the part.
Win the games you're supposed to win.
It looks coordinated. It looks organized. It looks like it's okay.
Yeah.
I think you.
Yeah.
You ride out another year and you see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because if anything else, the buyout will be less in the fourth year.
Yeah. And
then we have to break the glass in case of emergency and do what we have to do. But that's the decision to make. Not this year, in my opinion. Some other little nuggets. It's been a very quiet camp, so there hasn't been a ton of noise, which I think is probably a really good thing.
I do too.
I think anytime there's a lot of noise, a lot of noise sometimes comes from coaches leaking information to try and
unhappy players.
Correct. They'll leak information to try and steer a narrative.
Yeah.
Hey, this is going really, really well. So-and-so's doing really, really freakishly well. to try and like steer the narrative back to like everything is really okay when it's on surface level. It's really not. I don't think they're feeling the need to do that. So I think that's a good thing. I think they're just like head down and they're just working.
Yeah.
That's why it's been quiet. I don't think they felt the need to go out and praise and to do all that like song and
fans
dance
losing their minds
because they're not getting as much information,
Yeah.
which I think is smart.
I think it's smart.
I think if I'm a Gator fan, and I'm not, but if I was, I would be. So far, I'd be very, very pleased.
Yeah.
With exactly camp is going exactly how Gator fans want it to go, in my opinion.
Joey said we naming the show Perfectly Mid. I would say the spring is going
Yeah.
perfectly mid.
Perfectly mid.
Perfectly mid.
I think another thing too with like Gainesville and Florida is, and I just said it about Florida State, you have got find a way to stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Florida last year was Chris McClellan tore ACL in the spring, I believe. Huge loss, and I love Joey, and I'm not even doing this right now because he's not here. But I told him that was going to be a big one. Like that was going to hurt. Like that guy was a dude on line scrimmage, and Joey didn't dismiss it, but he was just trying to be like positive.
He was trying to be positive, Joey.
He kind of like brushed it off, but like that one freaking hurt.
Yeah.
Keon Zipper tore his ACL, same type of deal.
Forgot about Zipper.
Yeah, but that was another big loss, and I think the tight end room is fine, but like especially now, but then that one hurt. That one hurt too. So you Justice Boone. That's it. Not McClellan. I'm sorry, Justice Boone, and he was a freak. Justice Boone was a freak show. So him coming back is going to be huge, but he really, and especially that kid came on late in the year. He had a really good game against Florida State, which is why he sticks out to me.
Yeah.
But that one hurt. I just got to try and find a way to stay healthy. Especially, you always want to stay healthy, and no one's trying to get hurt, but you're not playing for anything this spring. You're just trying to develop. You just need luck. It's just injury luck, honestly. It's not.
Yeah.
They're not banging on them to where they're getting hurt like that. But a couple other little points I had. The D-line coach, Coach Chapman, is very active and vocal. He's very much so a motivator and like get in your face kind of guy, which you need that on the defensive line.
I was gonna say, talk to me.
Yeah, so you absolutely want that. That's like a good thing. And no one really knew. I personally didn't know what he was or who he was and how it was going to work in Gainesville. But by all accounts, it appears to be working like very well. Players are very receptive to that, and they're getting like that old school like hard nosed coaching, which in my opinion
Produces gritty players. That's what you want.
It's necessary. Yeah, you want a hard-nosed kid, so you have to coach him like a hard-nosed kid. You can't treat him like kid gloves and baby him.
Yeah.
They're
Joey,
not
if
getting
you've got anything in the chat that you want to say about Florida Gator football, you can just throw it in the chat for us.
Yeah, do that. And while you're doing that,
Joey said, quiet confidence in the locker room. They feel good about their chances of being pretty good this year.
yeah, and by the spring, it feels that way.
Yeah.
How they've conducted business so far. Yeah, I heard it too.
You heard some noises out there too?
Absolutely.
We've got the doors
We're
open
watching
now.
your house. So, don't worry about it, Joey. We're good. There is some noise happening outside over there, but
I've got a really heavy glass right here that I can throw.
Yes, and we have cameras. We'll just turn it on them. You guys identify them and hopefully find us.
Alive.
Please. Arliss and Boardingham. And then there's this is literally the text I got. Kid from the West Coast transitioning to SEC country is now becoming an emergence at tight end. So like we just talked about with Zipper going down, I know that's been a minute ago, but the tight end group has looked really good so far, which I think is huge for Graham Mertz, a safety valve. And then also, like, if Lagway does get the nod later, having a big body guy that you can go to that's typically always open, that can body defenders.
Yeah, and just take
safety.
with the skill position players, the receiving core took a hit by losing Pearsall.
Pearsall, yeah.
So
wow.
anything to take some pressure off of Tradine,
Yeah.
that would be good.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
Anything else on Florida football?
No, I think overall, Florida's football is like it's going better than expected. I was gonna look up their win.
So if you're a Florida fan, you can peek your nose up.
Yeah,
You can breathe a little bit.
yeah, breathe a little bit. I think it's okay. I think it's going well. I think you have to hope they stay healthy. I think Napier's done a fine job so far. I think Graham Mertz helping Lagway is very critical because he could be an a-hole. He could be.
Yeah.
I'm the starter. If I'm helping you, then I'm ultimately going to be taking reps away from me. But he didn't do that. He did the opposite. He's trying to accelerate the guy's learning curve,
You know what
which
we
I
need
think
to
is
do?
huge.
We need to make front porch sitting believe. Believe. What do you think about that?
I love that, but I won't wear it. 5.5, Joey? Man, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid right now. I'd have to look at the schedule, and I think we'll do that right now for 2025. But we'll do that later. When you're back in the studio, we'll look back at the schedule. We'll do like a quick glimpse at like what we think 5-5 is right, or if it's wrong. And but we won't do. We'll save that for you, Joey.
Mahoney's on point with these Nike shirts. We've got a Hope one, a Breathe shirt. What about Believe?
Believe.
He's got to be on.
He had
that
it
next.
typed before.
He had it typed out, ready to go. There's a little bit of delay.
Yeah.
I got a feeling Mahoney's going to be a big believer.
Believer, yeah.
Maybe we should name the show Believer. It sounds perfectly
Maybe.
made.
Can we throw the 2025 schedule up there for Florida?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah, 25 schedule is the same SEC schedule, but flipped from 2024. Jake said that earlier.
yeah, but I agree, but I also kind of disagree because like Ole Miss right now is in win now mode.
Yeah.
Like they have went all in the portal. Like they're in win now mode. I think A&M actually is going to be a little bit more tricky because we have like podcasters. You guys have got to get into the YouTube. You don't get to see this right now. We have the schedule up there. Tyler's got this like really awesome graphic.
I thought you were about to call me out for like the biggest yawn ever.
No one saw it. We know why no one saw it because you have this graphic up here. So, no, you're good.
Did you see Mahoney's comment?
What did he
Instead
say?
of believe, it's Bill leave.
Oh, jeez.
Man, that's so good.
That went backwards.
Mahoney.
Um,
That's so good though.
so why? Okay, so Joey and Jake, they are in the chat, and Jake says, "Isn't that so lazy? It's awful." Joey also says, "I hate it, Jake."
They're just punting down like what they're gonna do with the conference realignment.
I think 100%. I think they're kicking the can down the road,
Yeah.
like with that, and they're also doing that. So like the playoff is expanding. Like they're trying to find out how many automatic bids they get. It is lazy, but I don't know. Like, do they want them to redo the whole thing? Like that would be a lot of work or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of work. I think they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do.
That's their job. Like I don't care if they have a lot of work. Like I don't care.
I
but
think they're just punting it down the line to try to do something with conference.
I think they're
realignment,
waiting to see
and they
how
don't
that
want
shakes
to-
out.
I think they want to plan that out further than the 1 year that they were getting.
I agree. I do think the Florida going to A&M is. I think when you give his name is escaping me right now, Elko. You give him an extra year, like they're going to be tough on defense. They're going to be sound on offense.
Texas A&M has
They'll be
money.
yeah, and they'll be better than they were under Jimbo Fisher,
Yeah.
without question. Elko does a really good job. I just don't know what you get at Ole Miss. It's probably not going to be easy, but I also know that like Lane is definitely in like the win now mode right now. I don't know what they look like in
this year for
2025. You know.
Yeah, they're in like Hugh Freeze handing over money in McDonald's parking lots. right
Yes,
now.
yeah, in the bag. Yeah, they're like,
Except it's legal now.
yeah, you can do it. I don't know. I agree with the boys in saying it's lazy, but I think there's reason.
I mean, it's definitely lazy. But
there's
I think
reason
there's
why.
reasons. Do you think they go to like a 4-team split conference?
I really don't know. I think they're going to try to protect rivalries, but like it'll be all. I really don't know.
It was probably a year or two ago that I messaged Joey, may have included you, like a proposed 4 conference, like 4 divisions inside of a conference type of thing. I'd have to pull it back up, but it kept most of them in line. You know, like the way the SEC is right now, you already have those kind of like baked in rivalries, just like we only play LSU in the West every single year. It's like you have to keep that, in my opinion. You have to keep that game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they start scheduling more SEC games or not. I think that'll be based on what happens with the playoff format, how many automatic bids they get in.
So Kelsey said, "Is it lazy because they think it's going to be pretty much a guaranteed win?" No, it's lazy because they literally just flip the home and away.
Yeah.
Not
Every team,
anything to
it's
do
just-
with like Georgia or Florida specifically, but like every schedule, like they just literally flipped who plays at home versus who
now that
played
they're
on the
winning.
road.
So every
Yeah.
team got a 1-1.
So they just really return. It's just like a return trip everywhere. I do think Florida's home schedule. Can you throw it up there one more time? Yeah. Florida's home games in 25 are going to be like sick. You get Mississippi
Dude,
State,
Texas at home.
whatever.
Texas at home.
Tennessee at home, awesome. Texas at home, awesome. Imagine.
I hope Texas is at home in like the fall.
Yes.
Night game.
Yeah.
Please.
It'll probably be a night game.
DJ Ladway will be playing.
But imagine if they had Georgia at home.
Dude, it's so dumb.
I hate we
Jacksonville
hate that.
series.
We've been on that.
I hate the Jacksonville.
I'm cool with going 1-1-1.
I would cool. I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with just like taking Jacksonville completely out of it.
That
Why
too.
do we need Jacksonville? Why? It's so weird to me how Jacksonville, like, it's all about money, right? But why did they get it instead of Gainesville once and then Athens?
Yeah.
I mean, the money's going to go somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
They must be paying the schools, I guess.
They have to. Oh, they definitely get paid for that neutral site, but
Yeah.
but still, I'd rather let's have it at home.
I need to know how much that is.
Yeah, because it has to be worth it.
We could do a GoFundMe with the sitters, and we could probably raise enough.
Probably.
I mean,
I have no doubt.
Taylor, if you're listening, because we know you are. Drake, if
She
you're listening.
listens. They do. Atlantic Records, all of them, they do.
Yeah. Atlantic, Universal, all the record companies. All right. We talked enough about football.
I'm good about. I've done enough. I've done enough,
All right.
Joey. I hope I've done you proud with the Gator Talk. Didn't like being as positive, but somebody had to be. So here we are.
We tried. He said a lot. Yeah, it's got to be a massive amount.
Yeah, it's probably stupid.
All right. Listen, neither one of us are huge college basketball people.
No,
Is that fair
no.
to say?
That's fair. That's
If we're
fair.
honest with the people.
Yeah.
That's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at the bracket.
You know what I am a huge fan of though?
Haircuts.
Josh's Barbershop.
Tell me about Josh's barbershop.
I absolutely is adore the right word? No, not the right word. I love going getting my haircut at Josh's Barbershop.
Weird because it's actually like a higher degree of
Right,
like.
right. Adore is probably,
Yeah.
but
Adore is
it just didn't
Adore's
feel
just a
right.
little too cute.
Yeah, it's just
Just a
cute.
little
That's
too
it.
cute.
No, I love that. I love that experience. It's a really, 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 like Joey says it all the time. The haircut is exceptional. Like, if you can make myself and Joey, and no fence sitters, some of you other folks look the way we do when we leave there.
Heath, if you can make Heath
Come
look
on,
good.
man. Come on.
He's not listening.
Jake too. Jake's in the chat.
Oh yeah,
He
Jake
went,
was pumped about his cut.
Jake went +1, +2.
That's right.
So if you're like a solid 7 or 8 in Lake City, you get a haircut at Josh, you're a 9 or 10 quick. No, but all seriousness, he does a fine job, really, really good job. It's like, you know, another thing that I think is underrated here, and this has not been said yet, so I'm about to break some news here. Where you get your haircut, you don't have to deal with other people. You only deal with Josh and the person maybe before you or after you.
Dude,
at
that is
most.
such an underrated aspect.
No doubt. And so I cannot believe I haven't said it before. You don't go to a barbershop where there's a bunch of idiots in there, there's people yelling, there's loud music playing.
The TV from 1998 that's running Channel 4 24/7.
I used to like that. That was cool. But like,
We've matured.
I've matured. I'm not looking for that.
2024.
You literally go there. It's just you in your time slot. There's no walk-ins waiting. There's no any of that stuff going on. Josh is prioritizing you. You get your haircut. You make sure if you have popcorn, you can have popcorn. If you want a beverage, you can have a beverage, both alcoholic or non-alcoholic. It's your choice. He has a fine. I don't really do like the bourbons or whiskeys, but there's a selection. And then you get your haircut. It's a really good haircut. It's really good conversation, and you don't gotta deal with people that you don't know.
Yeah,
That's super underrated.
I love that.
Seriously, go see Josh. I'm gonna throw the number to you. Don't call him though.
No, you're going to text him. You're going to text him at 386-247-1430. 386-247-1430. All right. College basketball. So, right now, as we speak, Colorado and Boise State are playing. If you're watching the game, we are not.
We are not.
Because we're committed to our craft.
We're professionals.
You know who would be watching the game right now?
Joey. It would be
Joey would be like, yeah, Florida's pretty good at at football. And then he'd be looking at his phone, scrolling. But sitters, let me just clue you in on something.
Yeah, do it.
Because I'm sitting here. If you ever see Joey's head go like down here, it's because the table is right there, and his phone is there, and he's blind.
Yes.
So he has to get that. So look at it. I love watching Joey on his phone. He does like the scroll like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joey's
100%.
really old man on the phone.
Yeah. My favorite is when you're like, This is like the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, this is
So
what
I'm
they're here
sitting
for.
over here usually,
Yeah.
and
It's weird because, so like, I'm looking at that
it's
camera,
awkward.
but Tyler is there.
yeah,
That's where Joey is. So like, when I'm looking this way,
yeah.
I'm not like just avoiding the camera. I'm looking
You're
at
looking
you.
right at me,
The-
and my camera's right here, but Chris is right here.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, Joey knows it's true. He's not even gonna fight back about.
He's
any
not
of
going
this.
to.
My favorite thing is when you're like trying to have a conversation with Joey, and you're like going deep,
Yeah.
like you are bringing up the things of life.
Yes. Yeah.
And Joey's like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
right.
Yep.
No, I 100% agree. Yeah.
You can probably find that soundbite so many times in our conversations, and then like I'll almost stop and I'll just look at his phone like, bro, like can I
You've
get
done it a few times.
can I get you? Can I
Done
get
it
you
a few
here?
times.
We're only
Oh,
we're only
man.
recording the podcast.
I love Joey.
No, Joey's
Joey's the best.
Joey's so freaking
We're
solid.
missing Joey tonight. That's the
We
reason
are.
we're getting
That's
him
why
on.
we're vamping so much.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, college bracket. I don't have much to say. I'm looking forward to a few things. Florida has a really good offense when they're hitting. I truthfully haven't watched a ton of Florida basketball. I was watching the SEC championship where they made a nice little run. Actually, they made it all the way to the finals. Ended up losing to
Auburn.
Auburn.
Bruce Pearl said his team will not lose again. He said that. He
He's
made sure
alive.
the cameras heard him.
That's interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, a really good run for the Gators. I
Yeah.
don't think many people expected them to get there. Joey said, "Man, I love you guys." Yeah, they made a nice little run, and so always good to go into the tournament with those type of vibes. You know, I think you lose the last game of the season, you lost your backup center, your big man.
That
hurt
sucks.
really bad.
Yeah, that
hurts.
was bad. I was actually riding. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but you know, a team can rally around that.
Yeah.
and make the postseason about that guy.
I agree.
And by all accounts, he was a very beloved teammate.
Yep. And I think now that Golden has the time to like rework the minutes and the subs and the like how they
Yeah,
play.
he's an analytical guy.
Absolutely. So I think they'll work because he'll be able to like try to like mask that a little bit.
Yeah, I think the Gators will go as far as they shoot.
I-
I don't think that they'll lose because of him.
I agree. I think maybe in that game it hurt him a little bit, like with the minutes and the rotations, and like
Yeah.
I think because it happened right then, you have as much time to prepare. I think it will look different next game. But Florida ended up being a 7 seed. Again, you mentioned it earlier. They're playing either Colorado or Boise State, which by all accounts, the boys in the chat said that it's
Nobody has told me what the score is.
Yeah,
Yet. Didn't I ask for that?
I think so.
Somebody put the score in the chat.
Apparently, it's ugly basketball, so that bodes well for Florida. I'll start let's just start with like Thursday. Just a matchup that I think is a bit interesting for me personally is like you always hear about like the 5-12.
5-12 is a big one.
5-12 is a big one. I think Gonzaga versus McNeese. McNeese is athletic. So is Gonzaga. But I think those are contrasting styles of basketball. And I not being as much of a basketball savant as Joey, am intrigued by that. Is that the score? 13-9?
Oh, it sure is.
The bottom right.
Oh, dude, I didn't even see that there.
So they've been playing 10 minutes and they've scored 22 points.
Love that.
That's cool. That's awesome. That is
Sign
ugly
me
basketball,
up. Sign
boys.
me up.
That is some ugly basketball. So I think that's interesting. The McNeese Gonzaga matchup. I probably will not pick that in favor of McNeese, but I do think that's intriguing.
Sitters, I have not watched a single James Madison or Wisconsin game all year. They're a 5-12 matchup. James Madison, notorious in the tournament. James Madison, for no reason other than they're James Madison.
I like it.
Those are honest sports takes. These are honest sports takes.
You had another honest sports take that I thought was, or you actually did a little research earlier.
Oh, yeah, we were thinking about Duke.
Yeah.
Duke, a notorious team in the tournament, obviously. Losing Coach K. I think this is their second year. Last year they got bounced in the round of 32. So it'll be interesting to see how far they make it. They've got Houston as the 1 seed, Marquette at the 2, Kentucky 3. Florida's on that same side. So, yeah, I think it'll be really interesting. I think they're probably going to have to get past, seems like Houston. Yeah, Houston, to make like a significant run.
Right.
But it's just so hard, man.
They'll handle like Vermont. I think.
Yeah. But then they're going to have to play Wisconsin or James Madison.
Yeah.
And
You
if
know,
it's
another one
Wisconsin,
too that is like interesting is like Purdue is yet again our number 1 seed.
Purdue's my winner this year.
They will get $0 of mine wagered
Purdue's my
on
winner this
them.
year.
I will bet against Purdue in every single game I possibly can.
Joey said, "Great call, Tyler," but we've been off the screen for so long that I have no idea what he's talking about. So I'm going to wrap all of it around everything that I've said.
Same. So
James Madison, maybe James Madison.
it was James Madison.
It had to be James
So like
Madison.
I did the math pretty fast, I thought, but was it too slow, Matt? I don't know. I'm tired. I don't feel well. Was I wrong? It was 13 to 9, right?
We're stretched a little thin.
Plus 7, 20, plus 2, 22. I think that's what I said. It's still 13 to 9. I can do the math again. Still 22 total points. It's wild. Anyways,
JMU.
so you were right.
Guy.
I'm with you. Another one, like another matchup that I'm just looking at that I think is a bit intriguing. Where is it? I just had it. It's NC State. Who does NC State play? They play Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech can score the rock, but I think there's an outside shot that NC State could make a little bit of noise.
Yeah.
I think they're physical enough. They can make a little bit of noise.
Yeah, I am interested to see this Texas A&M Nebraska game. I did watch a bit of Texas A&M. I think they can give Nebraska fits. I have not watched a single Nebraska game all year. That was mostly a joke. That was mostly a joke, guys.
I am super sad because, like, at this point right now, Joey would probably be prepping the meat. We would be eating so good tomorrow at noon, and it's just not the case anymore.
I know. So Joey said New Mexico, I think it's New Mexico State. Yeah, New Mexico running deep into the tourney. This I do know. I think they have a
Wait,
higher...
did I just pick against them?
I don't think so. I don't know where they're at on the bracket, like which side. New Mexico. They're an 11 seed, but I think they're top 25 in KenPom.
Yeah.
I think they're, I'm going to say 23.
Yep.
Joey knows what it is. One of those times, Nebraska has a legit score. One for
Texas A&M gets up and down so fast.
That's right.
They really do. They play. They're athletic as hell.
There we go.
A&M.
But I think New Mexico is high on the KenPom rankings, which, if you don't know, is like a really analytical version of rankings that people really take a lot of look at. I think New Mexico is pretty well regarded in KenPom, but they didn't get as much love in the tournament bracket. They're an 11 seed, I think.
Rest in peace, over betters.
heating up.
Oh, yeah, they're heating up.
We said that last week too, I think.
We did.
All right. Is there anything else we want to talk about? The NFL rule. Want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Wait, who's your winner for NCAA? Real quick.
North
I said
Carolina.
mine's Purdue.
North Carolina.
North Carolina, he says. Joey, will you
Baycott has
please-
been there a million years.
Sitters, while you're here, if you haven't signed up for Joey's bracket pool, I'm looking at myself here. 'Cause I haven't.
I haven't either.
You haven't either?
Sorry.
Joey, I'm going to send one in.
I better hurry up.
He said Zona. Zona.
Zona.
So then you don't like New Mexico to go very far, my guy. They're on the same side, are they not? Did I just make that up? No, they're on the same side.
Jeez,
They literally play each other in the Sweet 16.
read a bracket, man.
Make up your mind.
read a
Jeez.
freaking bracket, man. Idiot.
Okay, so you said North Carolina.
Yeah.
I said Purdue. Joey says Zona. So, all right. But anyways, if you haven't yet, get in Joey's bracket. Shoot him. I think it's $10.
Yeah, it's
$10
not much.
Shoot him $10, and he said that's deep for an 11 seed. No, Joey, you said a deep run. A run gets you to the Elite Eight minimum. I'm making this up on the fly.
This is his man cave. We're not in the
Shade
house.
in his own house, dude.
Doesn't count.
Joey's fine.
We're hanging out with Joey's pet.
It would be. I think Joey would be concerned if we weren't throwing shade at him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not here. It's what you do.
The only thing that I won't throw shade at with Joey is the food. You just mentioned it.
God.
I'm so mad. Dude, do you remember, what was it, like 2-3 months ago, you guys had like a playoff draft
Yes.
and Joey cooked wings?
Oh my God.
I
Yes.
pounded
Somebody
like 10 cold wings. Like 10 cold wings. And they were so good. Joey's wings are elite. Unbeatable.
There was deer meat that day too. Oh my.
I missed out on that.
Yes,
But
you did. It went fast.
I did get the buffalo wings, and I think there was.
They were elite too.
God, they were so good.
Yeah, Joey can flat out cook.
Sweet 16 over here next week, Joseph.
Oh, can we please? Can you make up for it?
Dude, you know what I just realized? Oh my God.
You're gone. You're gone.
No,
I'll eat your portion.
no, my kid's birthday party is on Saturday
Oh.
during March Madness.
Oh boy.
I'll be inside.
That sucks for you.
He said yes. He's in.
Awesome.
He's in. Call Sherman. Get Sherman. I've never had Sherman's wings.
Marty's in the chat. Ready for some wings. It's been a minute. They're good. They're really freaking good.
I love it. All right. So we got
let's
our
talk
chip
about the
on
hip
this.
drop rule. I'm here for that.
Hip drop rule. Clayton put this in the chat.
And he's not even in the chat anymore.
He apparently gets up early in the morning now.
Oh my god.
So apparently there is a new NFL competition committee proposal. That would
so it's not in yet.
it's a proposal.
Okay, fair. Cool.
It would penalize a player with a 15-yard penalty and grant the opposition an automatic first down. I feel like that's can I give him? But okay.
Yeah, 15-yard penalty.
So this is the definition of a hip drop tackle because this is important.
Yes.
So many times in the NFL, especially, things come down to definitions. Did Dez catch it? So this is the definition: grabs the runner with both hands, or wraps the runner with both arms, and unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and or lower body, landing on and trapping the runner's legs at or below the knee. Good luck catching that in real time. What do you think?
Despise it.
Tell me why.
I despise it because it's already, first of all, I don't think, like, I encourage you, if you ever get to go to a football game or a team that you like, go watch a football game. It's as close to field level as you possibly can.
Get the game speed.
Absolutely.
Get the game speed.
And I want you to watch and think of how fast that these decisions, and they're not decisions, they're called reactions.
Yes.
These reactions happen in the moment of a game. I cannot imagine, I've said it 100,000 times on here, and I'll say it 100,001 times. When I was coming up, and back in my day, yeah, okay, well, you have to hear it because you're here. My father taught me to put my face in, not aside, not in front, not behind the hawk tackle, in the chest or stomach of who I was tackling. And that's how we did it then, and it's evolved to, like, okay, get your head across now, or in some places they say you have to use the word called your eyes. Get your eyes in front because that can keep you out of legal trouble, whatever.
Yeah.
So we can't hit people too high in their head or neck area because that's something. Head or neck area is not allowed. And then now, if we're chasing someone, because that's when this happens, we're not allowed to make the freaking tackle. I don't know how you make the tackle at that angle. They say unweight yourself, which means take both feet out of the ground and drop.
Yeah.
If you're going that way, and I don't want you to go that way, and I'm behind you, how the hell do I make that tackle to prevent you from going that way?
Yeah.
The only way to make it would be to, like, wrap up and run with you in the same direction that you want to go.
Yeah.
But that's kind of productive to defense.
Yep.
I want where I make contact. I teach our kids all the time. The reason Georgia is so good at football is because go watch them tackle. Where they make contact is typically where the ball carrier ends. There's no extra yards after carry, after contact. There's none of that. Where they collision somebody, that's where they stop. And so I just don't know. So I don't know what they propose. If there's this proposal, how do you make a tackle if you're in the trail technique? I just don't know how you do it. How do you make a tackle in trail technique?
Yeah.
I know you're going to push back, and that's what you're supposed to do. So,
okay. So in a world, I really don't have any pushback. It's so stupid. I was going to try, Chris.
you're allowed
I really
to.
was.
You can try to.
There's nothing. Like, the problem
It's
is
stupid. It's stupid.
Let's think about it like from a look at all the angles type of perspective, right?
Yep.
Where can you tackle a guy? You can either grab him around his waist, which is what this is outlawing essentially.
Yep.
You can grab him by his feet, try to chip him up by his ankles.
Good luck doing that.
Good luck.
I did that. I have a really nasty scar on my hand
It's not safe.
No, absolutely not.
not
Where
safe.
this bone in my finger was laying across this bone, and I had to have surgery to do that.
Especially in the National Football League.
Oh my God!
Where you
And
have running backs like Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Good luck grabbing him by his ankles.
Click his heels if you want.
Yes.
Because that's what I did. I went and swiped the kid's heels. His heel hit my hand like this, and then this bone was laying across my bird finger, like in knotted up. And I had to have surgery.
If the goal is to protect players, that doesn't work. Okay, that it just does not work.
It puts the defender in harm's way.
Yeah, and I think the runner too. If we're being honest, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's just I mean, it's not as likely you're going to get injured. So that really leaves just grabbing a guy by his shoulder pads.
Which you can no longer do because that's a horse collar.
It's a
You're
horse
not
collar.
allowed to do that.
There's the amount of space that you have to make that sort of tackle is at full speed impossible.
It's nuts.
It's a me, and this is just my opinion. I don't play football. I've never played football.
But you're allowed to give your opinion. You don't have to do all that prefacing.
To
You're
me, this is worse than targeting, in my opinion.
good. I almost
Because
agree.
at least with targeting, you have other options to make the tackle.
You're in front of me.
Typically.
Yeah, you're in front of me.
You have other options. With this, you don't have an option to make the tackle now. You're either going to get hurt with his ankles, and it's not an effective way to tackle.
No.
It's the easiest tackle to break, is the ankle tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, just watching football.
Absolutely.
That's what I see.
Their legs are so strong. You can't even wrap someone up from the back. Like,
Yes.
it's not realistic.
And even if you grab them by the shoulders, newsflash, he's going to run away from you. That's not you cannot grab someone with enough force to do it unless you do what? You unweight yourself from the ground.
Yeah.
Then you might be able to, but it's still going to be a penalty.
Absolutely. So you're
It's
gonna
still
get
gonna be a
15.
penalty.
So it's like, okay, what are the freaking options? Because I think let's like paint this picture. So if I'm running to make a tackle, I am chasing. He has passed me.
Yes.
For this rule to come in place.
Yeah.
I have been beat.
You're more or less like a defender that's on the side.
I'm
He's already
chasing.
beat his man in front of him, and you're making the route to
Yeah,
connect with him.
at best, you're coming in at a perfect 90-degree angle where he's
Yes.
running
Optimal.
and I'm hitting you at his hip. Best case scenario.
Yep.
I've just missed that window a little bit, so now I'm behind because that's the only way that can happen is on the backside.
Yep.
There's just no. I just
way.
don't know
And
how.
the only way that you
how
catch
do
him
you-
really is if he's in the middle of trying to juke another defender because he's slowing down. Like you're running behind him.
Yeah, yeah.
You're trying to catch. That's the only way to catch up.
There's
So
no-
he's already being shifty. So like the way that you try to make that tackle just does not fit. It doesn't fit. Marty said people who make these rules never played the game, or if they did, they weren't worth a darn.
That's right.
They weren't worth a darn. I tend to agree with Marty. I wouldn't make this rule.
This is bad. This is really.
What this is
just not football.
It's textbook overreaction from injuries that you've seen in the game.
I agree. And
This
then
has been a play in the National Football League forever.
you know what they say too, like, and let's just keep it 100 here. Let's keep it real. People do dangerous jobs all the time, and they're compensated for it typically
Yes.
very well. Linemen who do that's an extremely dangerous job. They're compensated very well.
Yeah.
Underwater welders or welders in any facet, they make a ton of money, but it is very dangerous to do their job. There are also examples of people that have dangerous jobs that don't get compensated. I'm not like
Firefighters,
law
cops.
enforcement. Yeah, like firefighters exactly.
It's not like a perfect example, but,
But in the NFL, these guys are compensated in such a extreme way. Like that's what the money's for, bro. I'm sorry, and if that sounds calloused and then don't play anymore.
yeah.
Like don't, because there's a million people behind you that will play. Like if you're scared of breaking your leg and snapping it or whatever, I understand that. But that's what the money's for. That's why you have money that's guaranteed. That's why these guys have insurance policies. That's why these guys, like that's what the money's for. Like
It's categorically a violent sport.
absolutely, that's
So if
that's
you
the
want
premise
to
of
take
it.
that out,
Like people go to, I'm not trying to get too deep. People go to war, military.
yeah.
Like people run into burning homes or like. For me, these are my opinions. They're my own. Miss me with that safety crap. It isn't a safe sport. It's a violent sport. But that's what the money's for.
I am all on board with making the sport as safe as possible. There's no reason not to. Like, I think, you do that with technology advances. You do that with smart penalties. They've upgraded the helmets and things like that. Those are great additions. I don't think what you're saying is, it's a violent sport. If they get hurt, they get hurt. That's not what you're saying.
No.
What you're saying is when you compromise the integrity of the game
Yeah, especially. Yeah,
for the
100%.
sake of safety,
Yeah,
for the sake of like one or two bad plays that happened last year.
and it sucks.
the reality
It's
of it.
extremely unfortunate. And Jordan Travis, he's a Florida State guy. He literally was he lost a ton of money because of the hip drop tackle.
If I was a betting man and you asked Jordan Travis, I think he would say he hates the rule.
I honestly believe that too.
Yeah.
Like, it's football, man.
That's-
It's football, and I
that's
hate
those
that.
guys.
I hate that. But we can't change the game because that's an extremely slippery slope.
What are you going to do with hockey? You're going to make the puck soft?
No, exactly. They're not
What are
like
you gonna
they're actually like governed different. So
It's just,
yeah, I hate the rule.
They're-
I hope
they're-
it doesn't. I hope it doesn't go through. I really hope it doesn't go through. I
hope
think
not,
football
too.
will be ugly. Like, think about what we hate. We hate a targeting.
yeah.
I'll watch Florida play, and I'll see one of their guys like go make in my opinion, a football play. It's bang bang, yeah. Like, maybe there's a little bit to the head and neck area, but it's not egregious.
Yeah.
And he gets ejected. I'm like, man, that's the and I don't like Florida, but I hate that. I hate that, man. I despise it. It's not.
Yeah.
That's not football. That's not how the game was intended to be played.
Yeah, I think when you look at, let's take college football out of it because
Yep.
there are things that we dislike about college football already. right?
Correct.
The whole system.
I love that.
Let's talk about
Yep.
just pure football.
Yep.
The things that we hate most about the NFL. We hate when the referees get it wrong and they clearly just missed it.
Yep.
Right? And it's something that's not reviewable. We
Yep.
hate that.
Yep.
Hard to fix that.
Yeah.
Hard to fix that. We hate the roughing the passer calls.
The worst.
It's the worst.
It is so
Taking
slanted.
some of the violence out of the game.
Yep.
Taking the integrity of the defensive player to be able to make a play.
Absolutely. And so
take
now
that out.
you're
Adding to that, but with plays that happen just as frequently or more often
Yeah.
than quarterback pressures.
yeah, absolutely. Every single tackle now. I am so like anti that. And so is everyone in the chat. It's like I'm not surprised that our
Smart viewers.
sitters, our
Smart
sitters are on time as always. But it's just that is just dumb. It's just so dumb. You nailed it. You said it. It's an overreaction to a couple of significant injuries that happened to some
is.
significant players.
And we hate that. I don't like seeing that happen.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna try and make an equivalent to like basketball where the kid just snapped his ankle, but
Marty said you can't fall on top of a quarterback.
and that's what I was gonna
Please.
say. It's absurd.
It's
Like, how in the hell can I go make a play on another 230, 240 pound man? And he also is gonna
that's signed up to play that position.
and he dictates kind of where I fall.
Yeah.
Based off how he turns,
Yeah.
he is going to dictate where I land.
Yeah.
And I'm penalized because he didn't turn.
It's like it's impossible to. It's just impossible,
It's crazy.
especially at full speed.
Matt Mahoney says is right. Pull his flag.
Pull his flag.
I'm telling you right now, and then we can close this out on this because it's kind of nasty what I'm about to say, and I don't care.
Oh boy.
If I was a safety in the NFL or a linebacker, and I had like a kill shot over the top, and like I'm
Give me the
doing
15 yards.
I'm doing what's best for my team.
Give me the 15 yards.
See, I wouldn't. I'm putting my helmet on your kneecap. No, because I'm not going to cause my team 15 yards. But ask any receiver or any tight end or any ball catcher, or running
Ask
back
Nick Chubb. Ask Nick Chubb.
in the world, where would they prefer to be hit? Head or neck area.
100%.
Please don't hit my knees.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to absolutely ruin someone's career and hit him. I would not actually do that. I'm just saying, like, the rule, it's so like wonky. It's so stupid. It's like you can actually ruin someone's career, but I guess CTE is a real thing, and I'm not trying to get involved in all that. But this rule, terrible. The proposition, I hope it goes away. Like, then don't ever bring it back up.
The CTE one is interesting. I have more pity for that than this rule, just because it is.
Yes,
it is like
we've
to
seen.
me that is a more permanent injury than
I agree.
that affects like your everything.
Like longevity of your life.
Yeah,
and
so
how you
Don't
yes.
hear me say that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm afraid of it, and they're enforcing.
No.
That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But I have more pity towards that because we're talking about like
I don't like it, but
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I can understand. I don't like it, but I can understand like the trying to limit the head and neck area stuff. Here's what I'll say to soften my last stance. I would prefer them to say you cannot hit someone, and I don't want this, but like a baseball, like a strike zone, from the like right above the knee to the nipple is okay.
Shoulders,
It's a strike zone. Shoulders.
Yeah.
You're allowed to hit in that area. Anything else outside of that is a penalty. But this hip drop thing, that's asinine. It's so stupid.
I don't think it goes through. What do you think?
I don't trust anything that they do, but I'm going to say that it also does not go through.
I don't think it goes through. All right. I think that's going to be it.
I think that's going to be it. I'm good with that.
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
I lied. I'm going to do one more thing real quick. I'm going to tell you guys San Francisco Giants over.
Really?
That's going to be it. Yeah.
We're on that?
I like that. All right, Sitters, that's going to be it for tonight. This has been Tyler Roth along with Joey's in-laws and Chris Martinez, and we are Front Porch Sitting. See you next time, Sitters. Oh, I get to do this time.
Yeah, you get to do it. Look at laser.
Oh, man, that's an electric feeling right there.
Feels good, right?
Way beyond perfectly
It's
mid.
powerful.
Later, boys.